Desync. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. Desync is an intense single-player first-person action game that begs you to play dangerously and creatively. Eliminate your opponents as you perform violent attack sequences using the explosive digital weaponry and lethal sidearms at your disposal. Switch weapons and move masterfully to unleash attack sequences, special moves that deal bonus damage and effects. Launch an enemy into a trap with a well-placed shotgun blast, then destroy another while they're in the air. Then quickly discover new combinations to maximize your score and decimate the leaderboards. So what is Desync? Well, it's a first-person shooter that is pretty much a skill test. It's a twitch shooter. That means you twitch when you play. No, that means you have to be really fast with your reflexes. It's gonna kill you, this game, a lot. It's designed to kill you. It's designed to make you scream, guys. It's just absolutely fucking brutal. It gives you a pissy little pistol, puts you in a level full of these aggressive monsters, and they pretty much kill you, and then the game says, there you go, you lasted 35 seconds. What are you going to do about it? Do you want to go? Do you want to go and cry? Do you want some tissues? Well, go and have some then. Go over there and play something else. And then you come back, and then it gives you another gun. After another level or two, it gives you this meaty shotgun, but then it introduces you to some even bigger horrible monsters that pretty much are like aimbots that leap at you from about 50 yards away, land on your head and one-shot you, and it says, ah, you died again. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Is that a tear in your eye? You know, you get angry and you want to rage quit, and if you rage quit, then you let the game beat you, so you come back at it, and then it throws another monster at you, but you know where it throws it at you from? Behind you. It spawns it behind you and it one-shots you and goes, oh, just one shot you there, you didn't even know I was there, did you? Had a spawn behind you, one shot, your head's rolling around the floor. And that's the way the game does it, just taunts you. For every weapon you get, it gives you a bigger, harder monster. It goes one better than spawning them behind you. It has another one that it will spawn on top of your fucking head if you keep still for more than a split second, and it will one-shot you. That's right, it will spawn on your head and one-shot you. It's that fucking brutal. You have to learn to pee. L to P. L to P, L to P. That's what you've got to do. You've got to learn how to get around each monster. You can't just go in there and shoot them. You're not just giving a big gun over there, shoot them, poo, and let's have a cutscene as you do it, so you look really cool. Mom, did you see that, Mom? No, there's none of that. There's none of that. There's no seeing through walls. You've got to listen. You've got to use your ears. You've got to use your senses. You've got to use your reflexes, and your reflexes had better be good, because if they're shit, guess what? You're dead again. Oh, and guess what? Just for lols, all the monsters run faster than you, so you can't outrun them. They run faster than you. The only way you can get away is by using a dash. You've got a dash, which is on the sprint key, which is all rebindable, by the way, and dash gives you about a second of quick boost speed. But it's not like rolling across the floor in console games and AAA games. It's not like that, where you would just press one button and be like, oh, where are you going to end up? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Well, you know, not really. You could end up anywhere, really. It just doesn't matter. Just, oh, he's going to hit me. I'll just press X and roll over there. No, none of that. On this, you have got to strafe out of the way, but strafing out of the way is not enough. You've got to dash strafe out the way, and guess what? There's bottomless pits, there's pendulums, there's spiky wall traps, so you've got to know exactly the spawn points all over, loads of spawn points for the enemy on the map, so you've got to know exactly where you are going to strafe to. I've strafed into bottomless pits, wall traps, spawn points, everything, and died. And I learned my lesson, and what I did learn is I learned that you have to learn the maps like you did in Quake. You've got to know where every spawn point is on the map, because if you don't, you're taking a huge risk of dying, and this game doesn't really need an excuse to kill you. They have enemies, guys, on here that when they fire at you, they don't fire at where you are now, they fire at where you're going to be in a second time, you know? So in 1 second, oh, I'm going to be there, well, that's where the energy beam's going to go to. They kind of predict where you're going to. So if you don't alter your path, you're going to get shot. And guess what? It'll take off about 90% of your health. And there's no health packs, did I tell you? There's no health kits on here. Oh, and your health doesn't fucking recharge like in the fucking wanky AAA games of today. There's none of that bullshit. There's no this is a bullshit free game, guys. You can craft a health kit, which is using shards and things like that, but it's at the expense of having something better equipped, and you can only equip one item to yourself. So I think you can only equip one item anyway, so you can either choose it to be health or something else. The only other way you can get health is by killing the enemy, and sometimes they will drop a health kit, but only if you do a good enough combo. Also, if you do a different type of combo, you'll get ammunition off them as well, because you totally run out of ammunition in this game. There are things you can craft, and I'm going to go into that now. There's no story or anything, but there is crafting in this. You can craft shards that you pick up. You can craft the shards, that you pick up into modifications for your weapons and things like that, and you find new weapons as well. You can say boost the damage, but if you boost the damage, the game says, oh well, if you're going to boost the damage, I'm going to reduce your rate of fire. Oh yeah, none of this great overpowered weaponry. For every plus, there's a minus in this game. That's what you have to remember. It punishes you. It gives you nothing. It rapes you with everything and then spits in your face while it pisses on you. The good thing is it's got a great soundtrack while it's killing you. It's one of the best sound. In fact, I'm switching the soundtrack on now with the rest of this footage. So the rest of the footage now is going to be the soundtrack of the game, just so you can listen to it. It's really good. It's like a pumping beat that is so good for what you're doing, and that is killing everybody. But guys, there is a few bad things about this game. Firstly, I hate the graphics, the Tronny graphics, and they give me a headache after about 40 minutes, which means I can't play the game for long periods of time, which sucks because I love the game so much and I want to play it for long periods of time. Another thing I don't like is the player runs too slow. I'm used to faster pace than this when I'm playing the likes of Quake and Doom, and this just feels a bit slow. The enemies run faster than you, which is not a problem. Because that just adds to the carnage, really. I love strafing out of the way of them, using dash and stuff like that. So, you know, that isn't a real negative point, but I would like it all to be a bit faster. And also jumping. When you jump, you're kind of jumping about an inch off the floor. I'd like to jump, you know, 3 or 4 feet off the floor. I'd like to feel that Quakeness again, that really fast-paced leaping around. I would like that more into the game, and that was a very big disappointment for me that I didn't have that feel, because that makes you feel even more awesome, and that is the main reason I like this game. It gives you that sense of doing something in a game. Normally now when I'm playing, especially AAA games, I get no sense of achievement, of euphoria when I beat a level. It's just, let's be honest, you can't not beat a game now. When a AAA game drops, take the last one I just did, you can't not beat that game. I can't use the controller to save my life. I can beat that game. Beating a game now is just given. It's a given. It's a given. The developers, when they make a game now, a 3-year-old can beat this game. That's the way they're designed, and you know, this game isn't. Anybody won't just beat this game. You'd have to practice over and over and over again to beat the game, which is what it's all about. It's about honing your skill. But I love the fact that it's pure, that they haven't put any of the bullshit in. There's no hand-holding whatsoever in this game. In fact, the opposite. I think they've sat down around a table and thought, right, how the can we kill these people over and over and over and over again? That's what they've done, and they've come up with this game, and it's an absolute masterpiece of survival, really. It's just a case of once that music turns up and you see them enemies spawning in, it's like fucking hell, you're in for the ride of your life for the next 2 or 3 minutes while all these monsters try to kill you. And it's in a tight arena as well, and it is such an adrenaline rush. It is so much fun to play, and it's only a tenner. It's not even an expensive game. You're not going to get a story, you're not going to get cutscenes, you're not going to get all that shite. You're just going to get an absolute test of your skill that makes Dark Souls look like the Teletubbies. So there you go, guys. If you're up for it, if you're not a crybaby, if you're not a rage quitter, get it. You won't be disappointed.